part 3 of why human life is always more important than material goods. Okay, part 3. Now, you've seen part 1, you've heard part 1, you've heard part 2. Now, you're going to get the conclusion. You got the information you need to understand the situation. So, I was a teacher's aide, and I'm going in. I'm going in all the time. I'm going into classes. I'm sitting at the desk with these kids. I got one kid, actually. One kid I'm assigned to, and then I got another kid I'm assigned to for the whole time. That's it. Just two kids, and most of the time with one, then we switch to another. The other kid wants me back, so I switched over back there. They really liked me, too. And later, by the end, I was able to get permission to do something special for one of the kids that was having a tougher time. Probably because of all the pills and medication. He looked very drowsy. I have no clue, though. I don't know his life. But he was having a very tough time being in there. And seeing as that was the same side that I was held down and hurt on, same hospital, same side that I was held down. The only difference is that that side was adults. And don't forget that also there was the candy cane day. And that is while I'm 10 and doing this teaching of the students. This is as then. So, I go in. I'm with one of the students by the end. Oh, there's one thing you got to know too. And this is actually really good. My parents bought me an iPhone. iPod, that's the old original iPhone, the iPhone Touch. Now, they did very nice things like that. I always got wanted things that were popular on mainstream. I never got what I needed in education, clothing, food. I never got what I needed when I needed it. Don't get me wrong. They gave me needs. They gave me food. They gave me clothing. But it never was close to what even an orphan was receiving. It never was close to the poor kid at my school. It was never, ever seemed to be close to any of the other kids I ever met. I mean, god dang, the orphans always had more than me of the needs. But I always had more iPods and toys. I had sheets I could try to bring with me. I had shampoos of the best quality, and I got the most pills in the whole program. Oh boy, Zach's pill list was the biggest of any program. Oh my god, I always had the biggest list. Because don't forget, in these programs, we compare med lists. It's like a card game. I'm not even kidding. When you go into these programs and orphanages, we have a game for new people. What pills do you take? And if you answer none, you win. You win. If you answer none, you win. But if you answer 14, they go, oh, you got fucked up. You got the worst hand. Somebody's fucking you up. And if you only had 2 or 3, then they asked you what they were for. They knew if there was a lot of crazy ones on the list, lots of them, that something was wrong, going very wrong. But if there was 2 or 3, then they're like, oh, you have ADHD, oh, you're hyper, oh, you hear voices, okay. And everybody knew, because this kid knew he heard voices. This is something he had to deal with. My across-the-hall roommate, I'm hyper and talkative. This is something I have to deal with. But no way I understood what any of the other crap was for. All the other kids, there was one kid, he was on Ritalin, he was hyperactive. There was another kid for an impulsive control disorder. And then they also threw in a bunch and more that had nothing to do with anybody's behaviors. No. They had a lot of antipsychotics, sleep meds, things that would make you drowsy and work like an opiate to knock you out, cause maybe some long-term brain damage. Yeah, if you look up some of these medications and people have taken them for multiple years, it never ends well for them. It doesn't seem to end well. When people take it at first, they say it works great, and then after multiple years, they tell horror stories. Anyways, and that's the point, because the point of this story is the material goods. The phone in this class really made a difference to this kid. And he wasn't going to get any at the end. He couldn't, he had no calculator. His calculator broke. He was in trouble, I'm guessing, for some calculator issue. I don't know. And he went days in trouble like that. He eventually got a new calculator and they went around. After a while, I talked to the teacher about letting the kids use the iPod Touch as a calculator for being good and treating their calculators good. You treat your calculator good, you get to use the iPhone calculator. And she says, that sounds good, but I won't allow it. I said, why? She goes, it might break. I said, what? These kids are getting the worst time of their life. And they just, you're having them do classes, what's great. They need a calculator. It's fantastic. You're actually doing education, seeing as a lot of these places with little oversight will show parents over like education for a month or two, and then their teacher disappears. Oh, we're hiring a new one. Sorry, we're hiring a new one. Sorry, we're hiring a new one. Because a lot of the staff people ask. Some of the other parents would ask right in front of us. My parents never asked that question. I don't know. Maybe they weren't asking enough questions. I have no idea. But yeah, that's when I was up in the mountains. Sorry, I'm going off track. Anyways, so the teacher herself in this class, in this place called Lowell Treatment Center, where horrible things have happened to me personally. I've seen horrible things happen to other people, and I'm sure that whatever's going on here is not good, seeing as every single program or place I was ever in, we were playing like pill poker or something. So I'm sure all these kids are all messed up on pills. And all I'm trying to do is make sure that the calculators stay intact so the parents don't get billed for some stupid calculator or who knows what. The kids are going to be the ones who actually pay the ultimate price because these people are going to do awful things if they break property. So, at this point, I'm just trying to keep everybody learning, happy, and not doing the best that they can, living their best lives. I'm sure people have heard that phrase, living your best life. Yeah, I want people to live their best lives. That's my only want in life. I also want to live my best own life, but that was taken away from me a long time ago, and I'm still fighting to get it back. But the people that could help and the people that have stuff that I need, like information, doctors' names, paperwork, stuff like that from my childhood, because I can't go someplace that somebody's not telling me and they don't want to tell me, or they don't want to do the work to tell me, or they don't want to spend the time to go over the information to figure out the information to tell me. I can't. So, oh well. Back to the phone. So I go up to the teacher and I explain to her that I'm okay, and none of the kids can hear this, just the teacher. I say, I'm okay with this breaking. I'm okay with it smashing it into a million pieces. What I'm not okay with